Hello and welcome to the 14th episode of the Knitting Teaspoon podcast. I am Lisbeth, your host, and this is a podcast which is mostly about knitting, but often also about sewing and occasionally other crafts. Um, so let me start right off with some good news. If you've watched last episode, you will know that my boyfriend was in the hospital back then. By now he's back home. He got released from the hospital last Sunday and he is doing incredibly well considering the circumstances. He has had a lung tumor which has been removed last week. We didn't know it was there until last week either, so it came as quite a shock, but by now he is, well, he is not in the best shape, as in I don't see him running a marathon anytime soon, but he's doing great. He can do things at home without any help at all, slowly, but he can do that. So it's going quite well, and this week we've also got the results from the lab research that said that his lungs are completely clear. There's no tumor anymore. There doesn't need to be any chemo or whatever difficult cancer treatment. So yes, that's a huge relief, and we're doing quite well. So yeah, I must admit sometimes it's hard to talk about it, so I might still burst into tears, but the chance is quite a lot smaller than last week. So it's incredible how fast these roller coasters go. But yeah, we're on the slow part now, and we really like being on the slow part of the roller coaster. So, so let's get into the regular episode right now. So, what am I wearing? It is a rosa shirt dress. So, you may think this looks familiar. It definitely looks very similar to a garment that I already have, but this one is brand new. I've made it this week. It's the dress version of the rosa shirt, and I'm sorry, this needs to be washed, so maybe I shouldn't show you, I don't know, but this is the shirt that you've seen me wear quite a few times, and this is the dress that I'm wearing. So there weren't two items last week, but of course you had seen me buy this fabric and I was intending to make a dress, and it happened this week. So if you see that there's white on the collar stand, then I'm wearing the dress, and if it's blue, then for the beady-eyed amongst you, it's the shirt. I don't expect anyone to see this from a distance. So I finally got a little bit more brain space and started working on this sewing project, and it was a lot of fun. One thing that was really not enjoying so much in the past has been making the buttonholes. But somehow I managed to figure out how my machine actually wants me to do it, so suddenly it wasn't that much of a horror part that came in the end. Like, you've finished your entire garment and now you get to mess it up by making these horrible looking buttonholes. No, it was quite easy actually, and I must say that this way I really enjoy making buttonholes, so yeah, that's good, I guess. I don't know how well you will be able to see this, but these buttonholes are quite straight, and in previous sewing things, there was a part that was trying to move the zipper foot with it, and it meant that I had to really pull and tug a little bit on the machine, and I thought this can't be right. How can it be possible that I cannot make buttonholes longer than 1 centimeter? I mean, even if my machine is from maybe from the 1990s or something, or maybe 1980s, I don't know. Guess it would be 90s. I don't know. It's not a very modern machine in that sense. I got it secondhand at some point. But I can't imagine that back then there must have been bigger buttons too, right? It's not a very new invention to have buttons larger than 1 centimeter. But yeah, so I finally figured out how my machine works, and I can now make buttonholes up to, I think, around 3 centimeters, so slightly over 1 inch. And that sounds a lot more reasonable for making garments that this is the range that you have available. So I'm very happy with the result. I'm totally aware that you will not be able to see that this is a dress. So I had my boyfriend take a picture from me yesterday when I just finished putting on the last buttons, and I think I will somehow get it here on the screen. It is a picture that is taken by my phone, so the quality will be slightly less, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to get it from my phone to my computer to edit this, but we will see. Somehow it will work out. So, yay, a sewing finished object, and it took me, I think, around 3 days to make this. Not 3 entire days of non-stop sewing, but for as much as my brain space allowed. The desk where I work has been covered for 3 days. So by that standard, I've worked on it for 3 days. And then there is one project that you probably know that I've been working on. And it is the socks that I started last week. And yeah, so this is just a vanilla sock. I've written my own vanilla sock pattern. And I'm thinking of making maybe a long-lasting coat so that any podcast viewer can check it out for way cheaper. Probably should do that. Then I have. But this pattern is called Liesel's Vanilla Sock. Liesel is my nickname. So I work as Liesel Anna. Liesel Anna Designs on Ravelry. But I'm just making some vanilla socks. And yeah, so this is the first sock. And the second one is almost to the point where I can start doing the ribbing, and then my boyfriend will have a new pair of socks by the grace that he was in a hospital and I couldn't think of making anything else than socks for him. So, yay, vanilla socks. This is out of Regia yarn, and the colorway number. I'm sure that last week I said that I would look it up in a next episode, but I completely forgot and I don't know where I have the label, so I will probably dig around, and I think it was in a previous episode, so I will be able to find it for sure, but I don't have it here. Probably you will see it in the screen at this point, because I will probably know before I end editing this. So, yay, quite some progress on a pair of socks for my boyfriend, and I'm quite happy with that. I do think this is like a lovely color. It's like nice and rich, and I really like it. So, quite happy with that. I think he will enjoy these socks. So, and this yarn came in 2 50-gram balls. Like, this is the same type of sock yarn, but this is another color. It's a lot darker, as you can see, but this is how much I have left over. So I'm planning on maybe making some black socks for him at some point, and then using this for contrast color toes and cuffs, or toes and heels. I don't know if it will be enough to do toes, heels, and cuffs. But we will see how far we will get. I need to toe up, so I can always just start with the toe and then put in the heel and use whatever is left for the rest. And, you know, as much as I don't like ripping back a short row heel, it's not the end of the world if I have to do it, if I run out of yarn halfway. So, yeah. Maybe at some point, or I think the contrast between these is too small, but if I would combine it with the black yarn, I do have some black yarn here for my blanket. This little pile here, I don't know how well you will be able to see it. It's my sock yarn blanket stash, but I think this would be a nice combination for a pair of socks. At least in masculine terms. Apparently, men seem to want to have not so bright socks. Anyway, so that's my vanilla socks that are still not quite finished. And then there's only one project that has seen a little bit of love this week, and it is my sock yarn blanket. And it really hasn't seen that much love, but it is still growing, or it is growing again. I've put on just these 2 squares, and I'm in the process of putting in a new square, so this may look like I'm completely messing up the shape, but this is how they are knit. So like in the middle of the row there's a decrease line here, so that will make these shapes square. And there's, I think, only after this one is only 4 more squares, and then I'm halfway through my blanket. So I know that you guys may have expected this to happen a lot sooner. I did too, but it didn't happen. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the progress on my blanket. And yeah, I think this is just going to stay a very short episode, because I really don't have much else to talk about. But there's one thing that I really want to mention, and that's well, a huge thank you for all your kind messages regarding the situation with my boyfriend last week. It is so heartwarming to know that you guys have thought about us and felt compassion, and it really means a lot. I don't want to go into discussing religion so too much, but well, we are not very religious persons ourselves, but just stating that you pray for us just means so much, that you just, well, think of us and try to do everything that's within your reach to make us feel better. That means so much. So yeah, thank you for all your kind messages. This week hasn't been quite as bad as last week, so yeah, some of these things just open your eyes, kind of. They make you see the entire world with different eyes. You start enjoying those things that you never really think about that you do. Things like being able to do the dishes. Like no one likes doing the dishes, I guess, but being able to do it, what kind of joy is that? I mean, just being physically able to do those kind of things brings such joy at this moment, and yeah, everything is going in the right direction, so we're very happy with that. And of course, thank you for watching this podcast. Thank you for staying along for the ride, even if life isn't always bright. So yeah, thank you. So I think that's it for today. Maybe my knitting and sewing will pick up a little again. I don't know when this is going to happen. For now, I'm just celebrating that my boyfriend is still alive and doing so great. So yeah, I hope to see you next week. And so I hope you guys had a lovely week. My week has been pretty good, and yeah, hope to see you next week.